Okay, it's the 31st of March, the last day of the month. It's a Monday. Got just under 30 minutes to the NY Open. We'll go to the charts in a second. Yeah, I think everything's good. Yeah. All right. Let's start with the calendar. So, this is NFP week, right? But today is a Monday, and also it's not just a Monday, it's the last day of the month. So, do not, I repeat, do not try to force any trades today, right? Just watch the market. If there is a very good setup, we'll take it. If not, don't try to force any trades. It's the last day of the month, and also it's a Monday, right? There's going to be volume coming in for the rest of the week, right? Now the market has already moved in anticipation for the tariffs that are coming in tomorrow midnight. Yeah, tomorrow midnight NY time, right? EST. Tomorrow midnight, the tariffs are going to kick in. So the market has already moved a certain amount in preparation for it because there's going to be a bit of turmoil in the market because the markets don't know how the countries are going to react to US tariffs, right? Each country is going to react in different ways that will create a lot of turmoil in the markets. So if you've been watching gold or since the Asian session today, you would have seen the massive move that gold has already made. I think over 500 pips already in a single day. And the NY session hasn't even started yet, right? This is all in anticipation for the tariffs that are going to kick in tomorrow midnight EST. Okay, so let's go to the chart. So we don't have any news events today, but we have NFP coming up on Friday, and also because of the tariffs and NFP, we can anticipate a week with quite a bit of volume. Okay, let's go to the charts. All right, just a second. Yeah. So the daily candle has moved. Let's go up a time frame to the weekly. We tapped 3,100 and we crossed 3,100. The weekly candle that opened today has already crossed 500 pips, right? That's a lot of volume. Last week's candle was about 850, 840 pips, and we've already crossed 500 pips this week. We're heading towards 3,150. On the weekly, that's what we see. We're very bullish and we're heading towards 3,150, right? I have a new SR level at 3060. Again, this is a temp level. The reason I call this a temp level is because I need to see probably one or two more daily touches, at least one more daily touch at 3060, right? So it's a temp level for now, but once we do have a touch there, then that will be a permanent level, right? And these levels, all that you see below, are permanent weekly SR levels. And if you've been here on the streams for the last several months, you've seen how price reacts to them when price gets to those levels, okay, for session trading. Now, um, yeah, so last week's candle closed with no top wick. Keep in mind, no top wick, that's important. We closed with no top wick. So there is a 50% chance of price pushing up, a 50% chance of price pushing down. Now, obviously, what worked is the 50% chance of price pushing up because we've already pushed 500 pips above it, okay? And we're heading towards 3150 because there is no technical levels to the left, nothing, zero, right? So we are at all-time highs yet again this week, and probably there is not going to be any supply. There'll be demand zones, so we are going to be looking, obviously, to try to buy this market, okay? Let's go to our trading chart. Before we draw our zones, let's take a quick recap of what happened. Let's do a quick recap of what happened on Friday, right? So let's go down to 30-minute time frame. We had, um, yeah, there was no, I can't remember honestly, the trade idea that I gave. I think it was buys maybe, but there was no opportunity because price just kind of ranged in this area, and later on, right? The latter half of the NY session is when price started to move up. You can see that move up, 200 pip move up after this 30-minute support was created here, and then this tradable 30-minute candle, price moved up much later. But in here there was nothing, because if you waited for 30-minute support to form, then this was 30-minute support, and there was no pullback with the next candle to take the trade, right? Same goes if you're looking for sells, 30-minute resistance and a tradable candle closed here, but there was no opportunity to take sells because this candle here didn't pull back up to get in on sales for price to come down. Okay, so there was no trade on Friday, and I think I did take a trade. I think I closed it at break even or something, but there was nothing. There was I didn't do much. I didn't take a loss. Neither did I have a big win on Friday. But the move happened later on, and then today in the Asian session, you can see how prices moved over 500 pips, 510, 512 pips for starting at the Asian session. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these quickly, and let's go to our, let's start with our zones. Okay, so we've got the demand here. This is the one that's closest to current price on the 4-hour time frame. You got a rally. This would be a rally, and that would be a base, because this candle has more collective wick than it has body, and then the leg out. That would be the clean push up. So that would be the leg out, then the base and the rally, right? Rally, base, rally. So let's mark that there. Then further down, we have a rally and a base and a rally again, right? We have this one as well. We're going to take a look at these zones on the 1-hour time frame as well, right? And then here we have a rally and two base in candles and a rally as well, right? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to combine these two zones into one, right? So if we start with a rally, two base in candles and a rally, and then you have a rally, a single basin candle and a rally, and then you have a rally, a single basin candle and a rally, right? So I've combined these two zones into one, and this is a separate zone. So let's bring this down so we don't overlap that, right? This is roughly what we have. Let's put the numbers here. 480, 667, 480, 667. Okay, perfect. And that's covered 500 pips to downside. I don't think price is going to come any further down. That's good enough. Now, as I've always said, when once price crosses a psychological number or a weekly SR level, you got to go down to the lower time frame and take a look at that area, right? So on the 1 hour we don't have anything. Let's go to the 30 minute. 30 minute, there is a zone there. There is a zone there on the 30 minute. Yeah, we're going to have to mark that out. There is a zone there, right? We can't ignore that zone. So if this would be, let's do this. This would be the rally. These would be two basin candles, and that would be the rally, right? And the reason I'm doing this on the low time frame is because I always say when price crosses or bounces off a weekly SR level or crosses a BRN or bounces off a BRN, you need to go down to the low time frame and check if there's a zone there, and there is one on the 30-minute time frame, right? And that you don't need to go down any lower than that. And 30-minute is good enough, either on the 1 hour or the 30-minute. Okay, so let's put the numbers there. Close 3099. 3. 903. Okay, perfect. Right. So this is 4-hour demand. That's 4-hour demand. And that's 30-minute and 30 demand. Right? Let's just save this. Okay. Let's look for supply. Do we have any supply on the 4? There is nothing, but there is a rejection here. So we need to go down to the 1-hour time frame and take a look at this area. Yeah, we have some sort of supply. We have a rally, a base, and a drop. So we have to mark that out somewhere there. Let's go down to the 30-minute time frame and take a look at that area again. Yeah, I would include this high. Yeah, because that's the 4-hour high, so we got to include that. No, that's too much. Yeah, here, that's good enough. I'm including this high because obviously it's there on the 4, but on the 1 hour, the base is pretty clear. You have a rally, you have a base, and you have a drop, okay? So the close is 226, high 792. 792.226. Perfect. Right. And this is 1 hour supply because it's visible on the 1 hour time frame. All right. Next thing. What we do is we look for if these new zones are high liquidity zones, right? Let's start with supply because that's where price is right now. Let's go down to the 30-minute time frame because we can't see anything here. Has this push down taken out anything? Yes, it has. There's a rally, 2 basin candles, and a push up here that price has taken out. So we have to name this a high liquidity zone. Okay, right. Has this taken out anything to the left? Let's go down to the 30-minute again. It's not taken out anything. No, it hasn't taken out anything. So no, this is not a high liquidity zone. Has this taken out anything? Yes, this demand zone, 4-hour demand zone, has taken out this supply. You can see this rally, this base, and this drop was taken out by this move up that started here, this candle. So that's a high liquidity zone. And the zone below here. Yes, there is supply here. There's a rally. If you go down the 30-minute time frame, there's a rally, there's a base and a drop, and this move up that started here. Yeah, this move up here, this candle, and this wick has taken out this high, right? It's taken out that high. So this too is a high liquidity zone. All right, that's it. Um, those are the zones. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look for a high liquidity candle in these zones that we've drawn, right? That's the next thing. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so price is at supply or very close to supply. Let's take a look at here if there is a liquidity candle. So basically a liquidity candle is the largest bearish candle inside that zone, right? So we start from the I start from the 1 hour time frame and then we go down. So on the 1 hour time frame we have this candle. Let's go down 30-minute. The 30-minute time frame we have this candle right here. That's a 60 pip candle. We're going to mark that candle out. Let's go down to the 15-minute time frame. It's a 79 pip candle. Let's go down to the 5-minute. 40, 44. Yeah. Let's stay with the 30-minute candle. It's good. 102, 718. 718, 102. And the reason for that is on the 30-minute, that's the only candle. But if you go down to the 15-minute, in fact, if you go down to the 5-minute, there is this strong move down. This is a collective move of about 55 pips, which engulfs this move, right? That's just a 44 pip move. Or if you take this one, that's about a 64 pip. Either way, we are at that area, kind of a low time frame support area, right? Price has already come deep in, grab liquidity, and is pushing down. So that candle seems to be correct. Okay, so here, um, is there a high liquidity candle here? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. Let's go to the, it's a clean move up. There is nothing, right? So we're going to, and also that's not a high liquidity zone. Now sometimes even though zones are not high liquidity zones, you still can find a high liquidity candle in it, especially if it's very close to a psychological round number or a weekly support resistance area, right? But to find a large candle, you need to usually see the opposite candle as well, right? There are no bearish candles here. It's just a clean move up. Yeah, it's just a clean move up on the 15-minute and 30-minute time frame. So we're going to move past this area, move here, and just here we have a large candle. It's a 130 pip candle, and we're going to mark that candle out, right? And that in fact crosses also into this zone. So it's 30-minute, yeah, that's a candle. 15-minute, good enough. Let's take a look at on the 5-minute also. Yeah, it's a clean move up. Yeah, it's a very large zone, candle, but we're gonna stay with the 15-minute candle on that. 181.79. Okay, perfect. Let's take a look at the candle below, the zone below, I mean. Yeah, here. We're looking for the largest candle. That is big. It's a large candle. It's at 126 pip. Okay, candle. Let's go down to the 30-minute time frame. 134. Hmm. The reason these candles are big, these liquidity candles, is because the large areas is because of the heavy bullish volume, price pushing up. Otherwise, they're not that big. Yeah, we're going to have to stick with the 30-minute candle because this move is 163 pip move up. That's the largest clean push up with no opposite volume, opposite side volume coming in. So let's go with the 30-minute candle here because the 15-minute candle would be 87, 58, 67, 56. Yeah, let's go with the 15-minute candle here. Yeah, we have a tap here already. Perfect. See, when I've said this many times, when zones are close to each other like this, you can see this zone. This is a zone here, and a zone here, right? You can see how price taps the liquidity candle on the way up, right? You can see it created the zone, tapped the liquidity candle on the way up. So some of the liquidity on that in that zone or that candle has been consumed. When price comes down, it could go right through it, right? And we've seen that happen many, many times in the past. 0.743. Okay. Okay, that's it. Those are the zones. All right. We have a new 1 hour supply zone here, which is a high liquidity zone, and it has a high liquidity candle in it. We have three new demand zones here. One is a 30-minute, and the other two are 4 hour zones. And there is a high liquidity candle in here and a high liquidity candle in here, right? So let me just, I'll leave it here. Take a screenshot if you need to use it on your chart. I'll also, on the 30-minute, this is what it looks like. Okay. I'll leave it on the 30-minute. Okay, I'll leave it on the 30-minute. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to take a look at what price has done in the Asian session and the London session, so that we might have an idea what price could possibly do in the first couple of hours of the NY Open. Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes and we'll take a look at that. I'll leave this here on this time frame. Okay, let's go to, sound good? Yeah. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Market open right there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. So we have so it can help us understand what price could possibly do during the first couple of hours of the NY Open. Okay, first 2 to 3 hours of the NY Open. Now keep in mind, price has moved, has made a massive move up already, right? We've crossed 500 pips already. Okay, and as I said, today is a Monday, and it's the last day of the month. Do not try to force a trade today, right? We'll do our analysis. If there is uh, a good setup, a very good setup that meets all the requirements, that ticks all the boxes, we take the trade. If not, leave it, come back tomorrow, right? This week is NFP week. There is going to be a lot of volume because of NFP and also because of the tariffs coming in tomorrow midnight. So the market opened at 3087, well above 3050. That's the market open. Will be the Asian low. Okay, so let's start. So the market opened here. We pushed down now. We were very bullish start at the towards the end of the NY session, the previous day, right? So the second half of the NY session, price started to push up, right? We crossed over 100 pips. So we were very bullish. We were above the EMAs and we were very bullish. We dipped back into the EMAs, grabbed liquidity, pushed up, created this liquidity candle and continued to push up, right? Went past, tapped the BRN psychological round number, closed above it, pushed straight up. So in the Asian session, we moved 300, almost 350 pips, and in the London session, we moved about 150 pips, 150, about 300, yeah, 350 and 150, roughly 350 and 150, right? So we pushed past the BRN, closed above it, came back, retested, pushed up. We didn't need to pull back to the liquidity candle or the EMAs because there was a lot of bullish volume, right? Closed above the Asian high, retested, continued higher, right? Created the London high, pulled back to the Asian high, and that's exactly where the London low is, right? They're at the same price level, right? And now we are trying to head back to the London high. We're rejecting this area, trying to create a 30-minute support, trying to push back up. That's the liquidity candle created on the way down. We've tapped it inside of London hours. We've tapped it. If we reject here, right? If we create, that's the London high. If we create 30-minute resistance, one second, when was this? 1345. Okay, that was before pre-NY. So if price comes in here, right, it's already tapped the liquidity candle, but it's very close here. So it's very likely going to tap it again. Okay, just one second. Let's take a look at the 30-minute, 15-minute. Yeah, we could come up here. We could come up here above this side. There is no top wick here. Above 3125, right? Above, we could possibly come. Okay, so here are two scenarios that I'm looking for sales, because prices, we can't buy. Okay, there is absolutely no chance of buying right now because price is at supply. So there's absolutely no chance for buying for me. I will not buy, right? There are traders who buy here. That's absolutely fine. I'm not here to debate that. But I can't buy because we're at supply. We've tapped the liquidity candle again, right? So I'm looking to sell, right? I'm looking to sell. We've made a massive move up. I'm looking to sell here. Keep in mind the sells are going to be short-lived because we're in a very bullish market, a strong uptrend, right? The better trade would be to take buys. But to do that, price needs to pull back, create support to go back up, right? Ideally 30-minute support. Even 15-minute support would be fine because we're very far away from the EMAs and it's very bullish. So if you get a strong tradable 15-minute candle close, bull candle close, creating support, you can take that trade. But it's always better, as I always say, it's always safer, always better to wait for 30-minute support to be created, right? But since we are at the liquidity candle right now, there are two possible sell ideas here. The first, price comes in here, creates 30-minute resistance again, just like we did here. We create 30-minute resistance again. A tradable 30-minute bearish candle closes, and we take the sells on the pullback to come down, right? That's one scenario. Second, price breaks above this liquidity candle, closes above, and then closes back in. And a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, and we take sells to come down. Right? Is that clear? Two scenarios. I'll repeat again. The first one, price comes in, creates 30-minute resistance, and a tradable bearish 30-minute candle has to close. Not a doji, a tradable 30-minute bearish candle has to close, just like something like this, right? Even like this, but not like this. These two are fine, not this. This is good, this is good, this is good, right? This is good, not this. This is a bearish doji. This can form resistance, but that's not a tradable 30-minute candle. Okay, so again, price comes in here, taps this, creates 30-minute resistance with a tradable 30-minute candle, and on the wait for the pullback, take the trade to come down. Second scenario, price goes through this, closes above. Okay, we have a close above, a 30-minute close above, and then a 30-minute candle close back in, right? It can even be a 15-minute close above and a 15-minute candle close back in. But you have to wait for 30-minute resistance to form. You have to wait for 30-minute resistance. I will wait for 30-minute resistance to form. A tradable 30-minute back candle to close. The next candle pulls back a bit, then take the sells to come down, right? Those are the sell scenarios. For buys, either price has to pull back now, create 30-minute support, push, and then we can take the trade to go up, or price pushes up, breaks this, and then pulls back a bit, and then creates 30-minute support to go up. I hope that's clear, right? That's what I'm waiting for. And since it is the last day of the month, and because price has already moved over 500 pips, I'm going to wait for 30-minute support or resistance to form to take a trade, not 15 minutes, right? Because price has already moved. It's made a massive move. Okay, so it's very simple in my mind. If I wasn't in this move, right, then I just say it's no point trying to buy or sell right now. You've got to wait for more confirmation, a little more confirmation, right? So I'm going to wait for 30 minutes support to buy, for 30 minutes support to form to buy, and 30-minute resistance form to sell. Okay, that's the plan. Yeah. Okay, we have formed, sorry, I was on the 50-minute. We have formed 30-minute resistance pre-NY. But again, I'm waiting for exactly what I said. 30-minute resistance form here, tradable 30-minute candle close to come down, or a close above, and then a close back in, and 30-minute resistance form to come down, right? Those are the two scenarios I'm waiting. We formed 30-minute resistance here, but prices already has traded above it. We're already pushing up. And the reason I'm not buying here is because we're in supply, right? We're in supply. We have 1 hour supply here. We have a rally, we have a single basin candle, and a drop. That'll be nice if price drops back to 3,100 before pushing back up. That's a nice, that'll be great sells that if you get those. If price pushes down here, grabs liquidity and then pushes back up. So if you get the setup that we're looking for, that I'm looking for, then I'm going to take the sells to come down. You've got liquidity areas. Before we get there, there is the EMA here. The price can tap and push back up from, so you got to be careful. You got to take, if you do get sells, you got to take partial positions off around 3109, around 3109. Yeah, got to take partial positions there. 3109, 3110, 3110, 3109. You want to take partial positions there. But if you get past that, if you get past this low, then we're coming down to another 75, 80 pips down to 3100. And then we have, so this is the second liquidity area, that's the first, that's the second, then we have the third, and then we have the fourth. That's one EMA, the BRN, psychological round number. That's the next EMA, and then the liquidity candle, right? So these, where is that? Yeah. These are areas of liquidity. Um, High liquidity candles that are obviously inside supply demand zones, right? That's one area. There are 5 key areas of liquidity that I identify on a price chart. There may be more. These are the ones that I use. I've used these for many, many years and they work well for me, right? High liquidity candle, which is the light, which is identified by the light green area, if it's demand, and then the light, the dark pink or light pink area, whatever you want to call it, if it's supply, right? The high liquidity candle. The next is big round numbers or psychological round numbers. I call them big round numbers. So basically, they're these levels: 3,100, 3,150, 3,050, 3,000, 3,200, so on and so forth, right? And then the third is weekly SR levels. These I draw manually. If you've been here on the streams, you've seen these levels, how I draw them. These are weekly SR levels, right? So the closest one that we have right now to current price is 3060. That's quite far away from current price. That's over 600 pips. We are not coming there today for sure. It's going to take some time before we get there. And the next are the EMAs, right? So these are when price pulls back to the EMA or when the EMAs cross each other. Uh, those are basically these two lines here, the red and the gray one on my chart. Okay. Right, so the 15-minute candle has closed. We closed bullish. Um, Again, I'm not doing anything, not buying, nor am I selling. I'm waiting for the two scenarios that I just explained very clearly. Okay, those are the only two scenarios that I'm waiting for to see those. If I see those happen exactly the way I mentioned them, that's when I uh, will look to take a sell, right? So we're waiting. Yeah, just waiting for price to print the way I have visualized them. If it doesn't print that way, then I don't take a trade. It's pretty simple, and this is what I do every day. I do my analysis. Do the first the streams are structured in a way that the first 30 minutes are the prep work or the analysis, right? Where I start from the daily, sometimes go up a time frame to the weekly, and we go down to the daily, and then the 4 hours, and then the 30 minutes. 30 minutes are basically for to look for support and resistance, and then I enter on the 15-minute time frame. I use an M15 fib model. It's not your default fib. It's not a your default Fibonacci levels. It's something that I've customized. Um, it's basically pretty simple. It's something like that, right? If you watch any of my past streams, I explain exactly how I draw them, any one of the old streams. And if you have a trade today, then you'll see me use this, and I will talk about how it, what has to happen for me to draw this. So basically, if you want to use the same thing, these are the levels, right? It's a 0, it's a 0.25, then there's a 0.5, then a 1, and 1.5, 2, 2.15, 3, and 4. Okay, those are the levels, and these are basic the labeling that I've given them, right? Okay, we've got another 10 minutes for the 30-minute candle to close. I'll be back in a bit. There might be a lot of waiting to be done today because prices moved a lot. Keep in mind, prices moved a lot. It's the last day of the month. It's made a massive move already, right? I don't know how much volume is there left for price to move. Look at that monthly candle. Wow, over 2,700 pips. Much. Compared to Feb, 1,800. Jan, 2000 again. That was a lot of that volume came in after the 20th of Jan. I believe after the 20th of Jan after Trump took office. But February was not as much. But look at March. Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot, huge. 2,700 pips in a single month. That's a 270 US dollar change on gold. $270, a move up. Price pushed up by 270 US dollars. In the month of March. This move specifically that happened today, this 500 plus pip move, is because of what's going to happen tomorrow midnight EST. Okay. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes, and we still have about 8 minutes for the candle to close. We're going to have to. It's very likely we're going to have to wait for this candle, obviously this candle to close, and then also the next candle to close, because we have to see if that candle is going to break the high, continue higher, close above, or is it going to push down close below this liquidity candle and create 30-minute resistance, and the tradable 30-minute bearish candle is going to close, right? So we have to wait for this candle to close plus the next one to close, because I said I'm not doing anything until I see 30-minute support or a 30-minute resistance form, right? So for sells, I want to see 30-minute resistance form. For buys, I want to see price to pull back. I've given the two buy scenarios. Either price pulls back now, creates 30-minute support here and pushes back up, or it breaks this high, breaks the zone, then comes back and creates 30-minute support around here and then pushes up, right? So if it doesn't break, so basically if it doesn't break the zone, the pullback is going to be bigger, has to be bigger, right? Has to be bigger, create 30-minute support to push up. If it breaks the zone, that means there's a lot of bullish volume, so it does not need to pull back a lot. So if price breaks the zone, then it doesn't need to pull back all the way down here. It can, but it doesn't need to. So you might have the pullback somewhere here, create 30-minute support, and then a push up. Either way, I'm waiting for 30-minute support or 30-minute resistance to form. Okay, I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Still pushing up. Yeah, we're closing bullish here. There's nothing to do. We're closing above this resistance, bullish with no top wick. Yeah, yeah, no top wick. No top wick. Close bullish above this resistance. I will not buy because price is at supply. I'm looking for sells, right? I'm looking for sells, and I've explained the two sell ideas. Either we form 30-minute resistance here and I trade the pullback, or we break above, close above the zone, and then close back inside. And then we look for sells to come down. One of those two scenarios. Don't try to force a trade today. Today is the last day of the month. If you get a setup, take it. If you don't, call it a day. It's going to be a lot more opportunities this week. Any questions on anything that we've discussed so far, that I've explained so far? Please feel free to drop a message in the chat, and I'll do my best to reply. Anything with regard to what we've discussed so far. Yep, let's see where this candle closes. It's 25 minutes, a long time for the candle to close. We could pull back, create a bottom wick, head back up, or we could come down and close below. There's a lot of waiting to do today. The market is slow. The 15-minute candles, we have volume. We have volume. Yeah, it's good volume. 52 pips. Yeah, anything above 45 is good. We have volume. But we need structure. Volume is just not enough. You need to have structure to take a trade. So you need to see, I need to see 30-minute resistance form here. But we have volume. 52, 58. Still waiting. 14 minutes, about 15 minutes more for the candle to close. Still waiting for 30-minute candle to close. 13 minutes, 13 and a half minutes more. Let's see. Let's see how this candle closes in 30 minutes. If in 10 minutes, yeah, just over 10, 11 minutes. Um, if it's a tradable 30-minute candle, if you close a tradable 30-minute bearish candle, then I'll be on the stream for another 30 minutes. If you don't, then I'm going to end the stream because I'm not going to wait here for longer. We should get a trade today. And I've shared the trade ideas. I'll share them again towards the end of the stream. What to look for. I'll be coming back to the charts later on, probably put an alert, come back to the charts later on, and then see if there's an opportunity. But right now, there is nothing. We have to wait for 30-minute candles to close. It's as simple as that. Pushing back up, probably creating a bottom wick to push back up. Looks like a bottom wick for now. Still 50 pips. So there's still volume in the market. There's still volume. But you got to wait for 30-minute resistance to form and tradable 30-minute candle to close. Not a doji. It's got to be a tradable 30-minute candle. Not like this. This is a bearish doji. That's 30-minute resistance, but still, it's not a tradable candle. You want to see more bearish. You want to see the body large on the bearish candle. Four and a half minutes more. Let's see how the candle closes. Now, okay. We got about 4 minutes for the candle to close, right? So I'm going to, if the candle closes a doji, a bearish doji, then that's it. I'm going to end the stream because I'm not going to sit around for another 30 minutes waiting for the next candle to close. But there could be a possible trade today, right? And I'm going to share the ideas that I shared at the beginning. I'm going to share them again now. For those who weren't here at the beginning, then you don't have to rewatch it. You can listen to this now. So for prices in supply right now and prices inside a high liquidity candle, right? So the trade to look for are sells. That's the one to look for right now. Currently, according to where price is right now at this very moment, the trade to look for is sells. Now for sells, two ideas, right? For sells, two ideas, two setups. We create 30-minute resistance now. We create it here. 30-minute resistance forms here, either with a bearish doji or a tradable 30-minute candle closes in the next 3 minutes, comes down and closes, and then look for the pullback to take the trade. Stop loss above, the safer stop loss above the liquidity candle high, above this high, which is around 3127.25, right? That's your stop loss, 3127.25 or a little higher than that, Okay, that's above this candle high basically. The next setup, and your TPs would be for that trade, your TPs for the sells are the same. You want to take partial positions around 3 3110, 3110, or 3109, and then lower down here at around 3101 or 3100, right? Those are the TPs for sells. Stop loss above this. If we form 30-minute resistance now, and a tradable 30-minute, if we form 30-minute resistance here, a bearish doji, but it's not a tradable candle, it's not a tradable 30-minute candle, then you need to wait for the next 30-minute candle to close, a tradable 30-minute bearish candle to close to take the sells to come down, right? Don't trade off a bearish 30-minute doji. The next sell idea is for price to close above the zone, either on the 15-minute or the 30-minute, and then close back inside the zone. Again, you got to wait for 30-minute resistance to form and a tradable 30-minute bearish candle to close. Stop loss will be above the 30-minute candle high that created resistance, and your TP is again the same, around 3110 and 3109 partial positions, and then 3100, right, or 3101. Okay. For buys, those are the sell ideas. For buys, got a minute. I think it's going to close a bearish doji. Got just a minute, under a minute for the candle to close. Probably going to close a bearish doji. For buys, price needs to pull back. If it doesn't break the high, then it needs to pull back further down, create 30-minute support, and then a push up to retest the high and continue higher. If it breaks the high, then it doesn't need to pull back all the way down. It can pull back maybe to the Asian high or the London low, that area, the EMAs, and then create 30-minute support to push back up, right? For buys, for the stop loss on buys, your stop loss needs to be on the 30-minute candle low that created support, right? If it comes down to the liquidity candle, if it happens to come down all the way to the liquidity candle and creates support there, then the safer stop loss is always under the 30-minute, always under the liquidity candle low, which is here around 3078.9, right? So we've created 30-minute resistance, but this is not a tradable candle, right? So you got to wait for the next candle to close. This is 30-minute resistance though, right? But cannot take a trade here because that's a doji. Got to wait for the next 30-minute candle to close to take a trade, right? So I've given out sell ideas. I've given out the two buy ideas, two sell ideas, two buy ideas. So we've already formed 30-minute resistance. Now wait for a 30-minute bearish candle to close to take the sells. Okay. Right. So that's the end of the stream. So the ideas are clear and I've given where the TP should be. For the buys, if you're taking buys, your TPs are back above here inside the liquidity candle. So around your first TP, let me put the TP levels here. Those are TPs for sells. And that's your TP for the buys. Okay, these are TP levels for the buys: 3125, 3129, and TP for sells: 3110, 3101. Right now, the reason we can't have a higher TP levels on the buys, you can have a runner, right? You can have a runner and hold it. Hopefully we should get to 3150, but there's nothing to the left for me to base a TP level off. There's nothing to the left. There's no price action. This is all the price action that I have. So with this price action, these are the only levels that I can give. In between this and this, There is nothing in this 220 pip range. There is nothing. I don't know what's here, right? Just empty space. So you can have one final TP level, obviously at 3150, because that's where we should be heading. But that's not going to happen today. Probably happen tomorrow or the day after. There should be a big move coming in once the tariffs once the tariffs kick in. Okay. Okay. That's the end of the stream. Now, if you are taking trades, then uh, wait for the ideas to play out, the ideas that I shared. If you're taking sells or buys, wait for the, if you're taking sells, then wait for the sell ideas to, one of the two sell ideas to play out. If you're taking buys, wait for one of the two buy ideas to play out, right? That'll be the end of the stream. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST, and we will do our analysis, our prep work, and then see if we have a trade that we can take in the first couple of hours of the NY session, right? Again, today is the last day of the month, even though it's a Monday. Um, Gold has made a massive move already, right? It's the last day of the month. It's a Monday, and gold has made a massive move already, right? Because of these three things, don't try to force a trade, right? Today's if you've had a if you had a break even, if you had a positive month, then kudos to you. If you had a break even month, today is not the day to make up for to go into profit, right? And if you've had a losing month, then or a negative month, then today is not the day to make up for those losses. It's the last day of the month, so be patient. There will be volume coming in this week. You just have to be patient and wait for it. Okay, we are pushing down, but you got to wait for the candle to close. Got to wait for the candle to close. If price comes all the way down here, so be it. There is no trade, right? It comes all the way down to the TP1, which is 3110, and taps the EMA, then there is no trade. But I've shared two sell ideas and two buy ideas, right? So keep all four ideas in mind, all four of them in mind, right? So if price comes down and we form 30-minute support, you get a bull candle and a tradable bull candle closes, and you form 30-minute support, then that's the opportunity to take the buys, right? Wait for the pullback, take the buys. The stop loss goes under the 30-minute candle low, take the buys to go up to 3125 and 3129, and maybe higher. You can put your stops at break even and let it run if it runs higher. Okay. All right. See you guys tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care. See ya.